If you were anything like me growing up, you absolutely hated rules. No TV until you finish your homework. Don't run with scissors. Rules were an assault to our free will, and we vowed that when we grew up, we would do things differently. But as it turns out, maybe our parents were right. Right, Nat?
Wrong.
There's one rule in particular, the 2-day rule, that I can credit to being the most influential in my own personal life. It helped me put more than 20 pounds of muscle on my scrawny 130-pound frame, and it's empowered me to create a consistent exercise habit over the past 8 years, a decision which, according to researchers, has extended my life expectancy by at least 3.4 years. Fingers crossed I don't get hit by a bus. So what's the 2-day rule? How has it helped me? And why are rules so effective at helping us change our lives? I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. But first, thanks to my sponsor, Skillshare has made this video possible. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering tons of different creative and entrepreneurial skills. I'll talk about one of my favorites at the end of this video. So let's first talk about what makes rules so effective. You see, our brains are really good at thinking, but they are terrible at remembering. That's why it's easy to get excited about building a new habit and just as easy, if not easier, to completely forget about it the next day. You know what I mean if you've ever had a brilliant business idea right before bed but decided not to write it down. You felt the pain of waking up the next morning, scrambling through your brain trying to find the file with the idea on it. But it's gone. It was an idea that was so brilliant it would have changed the world, and you forgot. You didn't write it down. Our brains, they possess amazing computing powers and split-second decision times, but we're biologically wired to get distracted. How many of us struggle with addictions, from social media to alcohol and sex? Left to our own devices, we will pretty much do anything but the right thing, or at least the thing that we want to do. If we never set rules for ourselves, we're simply letting our current feelings, desires, and mood move our path out of alignment. If we decide to take control of our lives, if we focus on what we value most, and we create a set of rules to live by, they can be a powerful way to regain control of both our personal and professional lives in a way that we could never imagine. No one who has ever achieved success as an author, filmmaker, or an athlete has gotten there without setting some kind of rule or system for their lives. To make it as a pro, to write a book, or to even build a habit requires overcoming what Steven Pressfield calls the resistance. In his book, The War of Art, Steven writes, "Resistance is the most toxic force on the planet. It is the root of more unhappiness than poverty, disease, and erectile dysfunction. To yield to resistance deforms our spirit. It stunts us and makes us less than we are and were born to be." Resistance shows up in many forms, from procrastination, doubt, the voice in the back of your head asking, "Who the hell are you to do this?" The antidote is consistency. Showing up day after day and putting in the work. And make no mistake, it is a war. So early on in high school and college, no matter how much I tried, I found it so difficult to build a habit of going to the gym or working out consistently. To put it in perspective, I was a pretty scrawny kid. I weighed about 120 pounds later in high school when I was around a senior. And throughout college, at least the first couple years, I weighed 130 pounds. I kept trying to eat as much food as I could to build up a consistent workout routine, but nothing worked. It always seemed like something was getting in the way. You know, I'd get busy with classes, I had to prepare for finals, I would just be too hungover, and I would make every excuse possible. But then I decided that all these excuses were complete bullshit. If I couldn't commit to at the very least 30 minutes of exercise a day, then I was the problem. After all, this was my life, this was my health and my future. After 8 years of attempting to put weight on ever since high school and failing miserably, I implemented the 2-day rule. It's very simple. I would not allow myself to take off more than one day in a row for some kind of workout, be it the gym, a jog, or a hike. I had to do some kind of physical activity at least every other day. This allowed me the time to take days off as I needed it, often multiple days a week, but it also kept me committed to my goal, and most importantly, it prevented me from falling into a slump and neglecting my health for weeks or even months at a time. It's so easy to give ourselves a break, which we need, saying, just this one time. But then that turns into the next 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and on. I took the 2-day rule to heart and promised myself that I'd stick to it as much as I possibly could. Unless I was literally sick or there was something completely out of my control that prevented me from going to the gym or from getting a workout in, whether I was tired, whether I was sore from yesterday's workout, or even if I was hungover, I would get my ass out of bed and I would get to the gym. Even if I would just get a 10-minute cardio session in, even if I went to the gym and I worked out for 5 minutes, that was enough for me to feel like I had actually made progress, that I had followed through with that commitment to myself. Within 6 months, I had built more muscle mass than the past 6 years. I'd broken through a wall and found it more difficult to skip a day of working out than it was to actually go. That was over 10 years ago, and I still stay committed to this rule. That's not to say that I'm perfect. That's not to say that I don't often mess up and I don't fall back and fail to follow through with the 2-day rule. That's just part of life. I don't think there's any sentient being on earth that would be able to continue through with the 2-day rule indefinitely for years and years on end. But for me, it's helped me stay committed 80 to 90% of the time. When I follow through with this rule and I keep it going in my everyday life, I find that I'm healthier, I'm more alert. It acts as a keystone habit, a ripple effect to other habits in my life. So if I can get my ass out of bed and go to the gym, I'm more likely to eat better, I'm more likely to get better sleep, I'm gonna feel more energized throughout the day. I just know that this one habit alone has changed my life in ways that it's hard to explain. If you're able to remove the childhood baggage of rules, you can use them to your advantage to change your life. There's a misconception that rules limit what you can do in life, that they hold us back in some way. But the truth is that if you set the right rules for yourself based on what you value most, they'll help you to live a life that you've always imagined. I was able to make this video with the help of Skillshare. Recently, I took a class by my friend and productivity master, Thomas Frank. If you often feel unproductive or disorganized, this class will change your life. It helped me to completely rethink how I schedule my days, set up my calendar, and get shit done. This isn't just about tips and tricks. This is about setting up a productivity system that will help you be more productive and more effective every day, or at least the days that you stick through with it. Maybe use the 2-day rule for that. Skillshare is super affordable with an annual subscription. It's less than $10 a month, but sign up today using the link in the description and get a 2-month free trial. Thanks for watching. Oh, hey, guys, by the way, I saved this for the very end. I'm actually gonna hire an editor. Thanks to sponsors like Skillshare, I'm now able to bring on some more people to help me make my videos, to help bring up the quality, to do some really cool stuff. So I'm in the process of looking for a Los Angeles-based editor to work with me on everything from feature-length Netflix documentaries to the YouTube videos I create, videos that get tons and tons of exposure. If you want to be able to work alongside me, learn from me and some of the things that I've learned as an editor and filmmaker my entire life, up your skills, as well as make an impact and touch the lives of millions of people, then go to mattdavella.com/editor. Thanks so much, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon.